Welcome back everyone. Today we are going to discuss the Schrodinger's time dependent equation. Let me remind you, in the previous video I told you that Schrodinger's equations can be derived. They are actually fundamental equations. So we know that equation of wave is generally represented as y is equals to a cos omega t minus kx, where a is the amplitude and this one cos omega t minus kx is the phase. So this equation is actually the normal equation of a wave which is created in a rope. For example, when you jerk a rope, that wave created in the rope is the result of this equation. But in when we write this equation in Schrodinger's form, we have to write this as psi xt is equals to a e to the power minus iota omega t minus kx, because psi is the wave function and it is the function of position and time, so we represented it as xt. So more precisely we can tell that a monochromatic and undamped progressive wave in x direction can be represented as psi xt a e to the power minus iota omega t minus kx. But the question is how this equation comes from this equation. Let us assume that we subtract a imaginary function iota a sine omega t minus kx. This whole term is an imaginary term, so there will be no difference in the wave of the rope. I hope that you already know the equation which says that e to the power minus I theta is equals to cos theta minus alpha sin theta. So when we place this formula into this wave equation, we can easily get this one which is e to the power minus I theta, and we imagine this as the cos theta and this as the alpha sin theta. So we get a e to the power minus iota omega t minus kx by using this formula into the wave equation. In quantum mechanics, when a particle will move, there will be waves associated with it, and the function which will vary with this wave is represented by psi. You know, I have told you in the previous video that the psi represents the wave function. So psi is actually a periodic function of time. Okay, so Davison-Germer experiment proves that a moving particle is a wave. So the experimental results of Davison and Germer experiment prove that moving particle is a wave. So it can be expressed as psi xt a e to the power minus iota omega t minus kx, because it is a wave character possessing. And why I am telling this, you will get to know a little bit later. So say the particle is moving on positive x-axis. This particle is the same particle which is mentioned in the Davison-Germer experiment possessing the wave character. So if it is moving in positive x-axis, so we can say that propagation constant, that is k, is 2 pi by lambda, which is wave vector. So from de Broglie hypothesis we know that lambda is equals to h by p. So in place of lambda we can put h by p and it becomes h line by p, because h line is actually h by 2 pi. Now from Planck's law we know that E is equals to h nu. So changing the side, if we bring the nu to the left side, we get E by h, and we know that omega is 2 pi nu. So in place of nu we can put E by h. So we know that h line is h by 2 pi, so it is the 2 pi by h is given here, so we can write E by h line. This is called h line. So now we can write the Schrodinger wave equation into this form. Psi xt is equals to a e to the power minus iota e by h line t minus p by h line x. We are just exchanging the value of omega and k. So this becomes the equation number 1. that is psi xt is equals to a e to the power minus iota by h line. We are taking here common, then we are getting et minus px. So this is the equation number 1. Since we are finding the Schrodinger's time dependent equation, we need to have the time itself in the final equation. So now we will differentiate psi xt with respect to time. Before that, let me remind you one thing. At the starting we have seen that this wave equation was consisted of the wave character, that is omega and k was mentioned there. Those are actually the wave parameters, but now we have converted it into the particle character, that is E and P. These are particle parameters. So now differentiating psi xt with respect to time, we get finally this one, iota h line del psi by del t is equals to E psi, and we number it as equation number 2. Now last but not the least, we will differentiate equation number 1 twice with respect to x, means we will double derivative that equation where I have said you that we have converted the wave equation, the Schrodinger wave equation, from wave character to particle character. So differentiating the equation, we get del psi by del x is equals to a e to the power minus iota by h line into et minus px into ip by h line, and then again double derivating the same equation, we get a e to the power minus iota by h line et minus px into I square p square by h line square. So we know that this equation, that is a e to the power minus iota by h line et minus px, is actually the equation of which, that psi xt. So in place of this whole thing, we can write psi, and I square, you know from the complex number complexibility, we know that I is equals to minus 1. So here we are putting the minus, so it becomes minus p square by h line square into psi. In place of this, we are writing psi. So ultimately we get the third equation, that is minus h line square del square psi by del x square is equals to p square psi. So we name it as the equation number 3. So we know that a particle is moving at a speed which is much smaller than the speed of light. So total energy of a particle can be expressed as kinetic energy plus potential energy. You already know that we can write kinetic energy as p square by 2m, and kinetic energy p square by 2m and potential energy as v. Now multiplying both sides by psi, we get E psi is equals to p square psi by 2m plus v psi. Now from the previous equation, which I have numbered equation number 1, equation number 2, you have got that E psi is actually this one. This one, I h line by del psi by del t is equals to E psi. So we are putting the value of E psi here. So we get I h line del psi by del t is equals to minus h line square by 2m del square psi by del x square. And we can get this from the third equation, that is this one, p square psi. Putting the value of p square psi here, we are getting this one plus v psi, and as it is. So this equation is actually for the one dimension, that is when the moving particle is in the one direction. So this is the Schrodinger's time dependent equation for a non-relativistic particle moving in one direction. And for 3D, that is 3-dimensional, we just have to put x, y, z, and thus we get I h line del psi by del t is equals to minus h line square by 2m del square psi by del x square plus del square psi by del y square plus del square psi by del z square plus v xyz psi, and this equation is for the 3D, that is 3 dimensional.